General Santos City, Philippines, 1991. A 14-year-old boy named Manny Pacquiao watched his mother count coins. 5 siblings, no father, not enough food. That night, Manny made a decision that would break his mother's heart. He packed a small bag, left a note, and ran away. Not because he was selfish, because he loved them too much to watch them starve. He hopped on a bus to Manila with 20 pesos in his pocket. His mother cried for weeks, thinking she'd lost him forever. She had no idea that 17 years later she'd cry again, but this time from something completely different. Manny Pacquiao was raising 6 children alone in one of the poorest regions of the Philippines. Her husband had left. No child support, no help. Just her and 6 mouths to feed in a house with a roof that leaked when it rained. She worked selling vegetables in the local market. Some days she'd make 50 pesos, about $1. That was supposed to feed 7 people. Manny was the 4th child, born December 17th, 1978. Even as a little kid, he understood they were poor. Not regular poor, desperate poor. The kind of poor where you go to bed hungry most nights. The kind of poor where your mother cries when she thinks you're asleep because she doesn't know how she'll feed you tomorrow. By age 12, Manny was working, not playing. Working. He'd wake up at 4 in the morning and sell donuts on the street before school. After school, he'd shine shoes in the town plaza. On weekends, he'd help his uncle sell fish in the market. Every peso he made went to his mother, but it was never enough. It was never close to enough. Manny discovered boxing by accident. His uncle had been a boxer, had a small gym behind his house, old punching bags, torn gloves, a ring made from rope and wooden posts. Manny would watch the fighters train, study their movements. One day, his uncle let him try, put the gloves on his 12-year-old hands. "Show me what you got, kid." Manny threw a punch, then another, then another. Something clicked. This felt right. This felt like purpose. His uncle saw it too. "You got fast hands, Manny. Real fast. You keep training. Maybe you make some money from this." Money. That's all Manny heard. A way to help his mother, a way to feed his siblings. He started training every day, before the donut selling, after the shoes shining. Any free moment he was at his uncle's gym, punching bags, doing sit-ups, building his body into something that could fight. By age 14, Manny had fought in a few amateur tournaments, won most of them, made a little money. But it wasn't enough to really help. His family was still struggling. His mother was still crying at night. His younger siblings were still going to bed hungry. That's when Manny made his decision. He was a burden, another mouth to feed. If he left, his mother could focus on the younger kids, use the food money on them instead of him. He could go to Manila, find work, send money back. It was the only logical solution. He didn't tell his mother directly, couldn't face her, couldn't see her cry. So he wrote a note, simple, direct. "Mama, I'm going to Manila to work. Don't worry about me. I'll send money. I love you." He left it on the kitchen table, packed a small bag with 2 shirts and 1 pair of shorts, and at 4 in the morning, while everyone was sleeping, he walked to the bus station. The bus ride from General Santos to Manila takes 30 hours. Manny had 20 pesos, bought the cheapest ticket he could, sat in the back, watched the countryside pass by. Part of him was excited, adventure, independence, but mostly he was terrified. He was 14 years old, going to a city of 12 million people, knowing nobody, having nothing. When Dionysia woke up and found the note, she collapsed. Her neighbors heard her screaming, thought someone had died. In a way, someone had. Her son was gone, her 4th child, the one who'd worked so hard to help, the one with the fast hands and the kind heart, gone. She cried for 3 days straight, barely ate, barely slept, just cried and prayed he'd come home. Manny arrived in Manila with 12 pesos left. Less than 50 cents. No plan, no contacts, just determination. He slept on the street the first night, behind a 7-Eleven, used his bag as a pillow, woke up to a security guard kicking his feet. "You can't sleep here, kid, move." The next few months were survival. Manny found work at a warehouse, loading boxes, 12-hour shifts, 100 pesos a day, about $2. He'd send 50 pesos home to his mother every week, keep 50 for himself, food, shelter, survival. He slept in a room with 12 other workers, mattresses on the floor, no air conditioning, Manila heat making it hard to breathe. But Manny never forgot boxing. On his days off, he'd find gyms, watch fighters train. One gym owner, seeing this skinny kid watching through the fence, called him over. "You box?" Manny nodded. "Show me." Manny didn't have gloves, didn't have wraps, just shadow boxed, his hands moving like lightning. Combinations, footwork, defense. The gym owner, a man named Bert, watched in silence. When Manny finished, Bert said 3 words. "You train here." The gym was called LM Gym, located in Sampaloc, Manila. It was rough, crumbling walls, old equipment, a ring held together by duct tape and prayer. But it was a gym. It was boxing. It was hope. Manny started training there every day, before work, after work, weekends, any free moment. Bert saw something in Manny, raw talent, unrefined but undeniable. He started entering Manny in amateur tournaments. Manny would fight guys older than him, heavier than him, more experience. Didn't matter. Manny's speed was different. His power was different. He'd knock guys out in the first round, second round, third round at the latest. By age 15, Manny had a reputation in Manila's underground boxing scene. The kid from General Santos, the one who hit like a truck despite weighing barely 100 pounds. Promoters started asking about him. Could he turn pro? Could he make real money? Bert was cautious. "You're too young, Manny. You need more training, more experience." But Manny couldn't wait. His family needed money now. His mother was still struggling. His siblings were still hungry. "I'm ready, coach. I'm ready." January 1995, Manny Pacquiao turned professional at 16 years old. His first pro fight was against Edmund Ignacio. Manny weighed 106 pounds, a light flyweight, the smallest weight class in boxing. The fight lasted 4 rounds. Manny won by decision. His purse was 2,500 pesos, about $60. He sent it all home to his mother. Dionysia received the money with mixed emotions. She was grateful, desperately needed it, but she was also terrified. Her son was getting punched in the face for money. Her 14-year-old who'd run away was now 16 and fighting grown men. She wanted to tell him to stop, to come home, to be safe, but she also knew they needed the money. So she took it and cried and prayed. Manny kept fighting. 3 fights in 1995, 5 fights in 1996, 8 fights in 1997. He was winning, getting better, making more money, but he was still living in that cramped room, still training at LM Gym, still sending most of his money home. His life was simple: work, train, fight, send money, repeat. The photo from 1996 captured that life perfectly. 17-year-old Manny doing sit-ups at LM Gym, sweating, struggling, using old tires as training equipment because they couldn't afford proper equipment. His face showing pain, determination, hunger, not for food, for something more, for success, for a way out, for his family. But something was building. Manny wasn't just winning fights, he was destroying opponents. His reputation was growing, not just in Manila, throughout the Philippines, then throughout Asia. By 1998, at 19 years old, Manny won his first world title, WBC flyweight champion. He was making real money now, $50,000 a fight, then $100,000, then more. He bought his mother a house, not a big house, not yet, but a house with a roof that didn't leak, with electricity, with running water. When Dionysia walked into that house for the first time, she cried, the same way she'd cried when he left. But these tears were different. These were tears of pride, of disbelief, of gratitude. But Manny wasn't done. He kept climbing, moved up weight classes, won titles at featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight, welterweight. He was fighting on pay-per-view now, making millions. His fights in Las Vegas were selling out. Oscar De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather, the biggest names in boxing, and Manny was beating them. By 2008, Manny Pacquiao was one of the most famous athletes in the world, a national hero in the Philippines. When he fought, the entire country stopped. Crime rates would drop to nearly zero because everyone was watching Manny fight. Churches would set up big screens. Streets would be empty. The Philippines had many problems: poverty, corruption, natural disasters. But for 2 hours while Manny fought, none of that mattered. They had hope. They had pride. They had Manny. And Manny never forgot where he came from. In 2008, he went back to LM Gym, the place that had given him a chance when he was a skinny kid from General Santos. The place with the crumbling walls and old equipment. He bought the entire building, paid the owner 10 times what it was worth. Then he had it torn down. But he didn't abandon it. He built something new, a 7-story complex, modern boxing gym on the first floor with proper equipment, good lighting, air conditioning, a recording studio on the second floor. Manny had started singing, why not? He'd conquered boxing. Billiard room on the 3rd floor, dormitory on the top floors where young fighters could stay for free, train for free, eat for free. The same opportunity Manny had been given. The opening ceremony was huge, thousands of people, media everywhere, politicians, celebrities. But the most important person there was Dionysia Pacquiao, Manny's mother, now living in a mansion, wearing expensive clothes, jewelry, but still the same woman who'd raised 6 kids alone, who'd counted coins, who'd cried when her 14-year-old son ran away. During his speech, Manny talked about that night in 1991, about leaving the note, about taking the bus to Manila with 20 pesos, about being terrified, about sleeping behind a 7-Eleven, about finding LM Gym, about everything that had happened since. As he talked, Dionysia stood in the front row, crying. The same tears from 17 years ago, but now from joy, from pride, from disbelief at what her son had become. After the ceremony, reporters asked Dionysia how she felt. She couldn't speak at first, just cried. Finally, she managed a few words. When he left, I thought I lost him forever. I cried for days, for weeks. I prayed every night that he was safe, that he wasn't hungry, that someone was taking care of him. And now, she gestured at the building, at the crowd, at her son surrounded by fans. Now I cry again, but for a different reason. Because he didn't just save himself. He saved all of us. And now he's saving other kids who are just like he was, hungry, desperate, looking for hope. Manny Pacquiao would go on to become an 8-division world champion, the only boxer in history to win titles in 8 different weight classes. He'd make over $500 million in his career, become a senator in the Philippines, run for president, star in movies, release albums. But none of that would mean as much as that moment standing with his mother at the gym that gave him a chance, knowing that he'd kept his promise, the promise in that note from 1991. Don't worry about me, I'll send money. He'd sent more than money, he'd sent hope. He'd sent proof that it was possible, that a kid from nothing could become everything, that poverty wasn't permanent, that sacrifice mattered, that running away to save your family wasn't abandonment, it was love. This is what happens when sacrifice meets determination, when a 14-year-old chooses his family's survival over his own comfort, when poverty becomes fuel instead of an excuse. Manny ran away to save his family and became a legend that saved an entire nation's spirit. If this story moved you, smash that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. Share this with someone who's struggling, who needs to know that where you start doesn't determine where you finish. Drop a comment about sacrifices you've made. Hit that bell for more legendary stories that prove champions are made in poverty, not privilege.